And I can't taste my food and
Yeah, that's why all symptoms of corona still, not gonna lie. Go on the Gov website, they'll tell you it's straight.
Corona's a facade anyway. Some idiot flu. Man can't get that. I've got no health
Immune
conditions.
system's good, yeah?
Proper.
I hear that.
I got the rum, the ginger, the lemons if I really need it. You hear me, bab? So I'm sorted.
All right, cool.
What do you think of corona?
Yeah,
You shook, bruv.
Who
You shook.
shook, blood?
Why lie?
Who
You shook. You see, I was waiting for you. You shook.
shook?
You got a gloves and mask, bruv.
I've got gloves on because the place is dirty.
The mask. Do you wear them on a normal day?
I wear, no, listen to
No,
what I'm
do
saying,
you
yeah.
wear them on a normal day? Before all this media, this news, this social thing and the posting about
I
hygiene
wasn't.
and all of that, did you wear gloves and the mask? Yes or no? No. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then so
But
we'll leave it
we're
there.
ending there.
What
Don't
you-
pick it end it there. You're mad. We're ending it there. No, I didn't know. I don't normally wear gloves on a day-to-day basis. The reason why I am wearing gloves is because it's shut up, man.
Go on.
Because it's brought awareness to me. Do you get what I'm saying?
What's brought awareness?
There's nothing wrong with wearing gloves.
What's brought awareness? No, you're not listening though.
But the fact that this is happening, yeah, even though this is a normal flu that anyone can catch, it's a normal flu that happens anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? But I'm saying because there's so much hype around it, it's brought awareness to.
Hype's what made you wear gloves.
Yeah, that's the reality because I should be wearing gloves anyway.
But you know when this hype,
that's just like saying.
so hype's made you wear these gloves and masks. When it dies down, are you going to be keeping the same energy?
Yes, because
When we're on the
it's
train,
brought attention-
when we're on the
attention to
train, let's say in 3 months, microwave podcast licking off.
Yeah.
We got a show. Yeah. Coronavirus is extinct. Yeah, done. Football's back and running, by the way, in 3 months, hopefully. Anyway, you going to be wearing a gloves and a mask? Yes or no?
But in 3 months,
If it dies out,
it's gonna be hot.
if it dies out,
it's gonna be hot soul. There's no need for me to
Not in
wear gloves.
England.
In 3 months.
Not in
In
England.
3 months' time, looking about July, I swear, or June.
You're being silly, man. You're
Listen,
being
all
silly.
I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with me trying to take extra precaution because I'm hearing that flu's
Because
going around.
what?
It's like just chicken pox. It's like chicken pox. If you know someone next to you's got chicken pox, you're gonna avoid them, innit?
What you mean?
I'm saying that when there's a flu happening or some sort of virus happening, you just take extra
There's
precaution.
viruses happening all the time and you don't
Yeah,
take
but
them precautions.
Who don't take the precautions?
You don't.
Because I'm not sitting next to somebody who had a flipping chest cough on the flipping train.
So because the news and stuff are telling you how serious
anyway,
this
Mally,
thing is,
see,
you're not sitting next to me.
You still can't have a conversation
But if the
with me.
news weren't telling you and everyone else weren't telling you, you would sit next to me normally without your gloves and mask. That's what you're saying?
Nah, if he was coughing up normally without corona happening, I'd rather be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, and you'd be
would
there
anyway.
calm. You'd be calm though.
No, but I'd rather be like this though. I'd be like, Mally, man, what the hell?
I don't want to talk about Corona no more.
Oh, really?
I've seen where your views are and I'm not with them.
Right, anyway, so...
Well, go on, know people them.
Yeah, obviously message us because, like, I feel like there's a bit of a... I feel like the room's a little bit empty.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
too what, man. So come pattern us, get involved with us. Though there's a temporary vacancy today, so pattern up with us.
Exactly. So let's just go through the structure of the show because we're a bit nervous. Not gonna lie, do you get what I'm saying?
I'm not.
Skiing, Mally. We were shaking 2 minutes ago, but anyway. So obviously, what we're gonna do is we're gonna introduce a topic. We're gonna obviously briefly talk about domestic violence, the views that we've heard from people who have been writing in. Obviously, share our views. Then we're gonna have a caller who's going to come and give their input as well. Then we're going to go for a break. Then we're going to come back and then we're going to speak to a victim who's been through domestic abuse / violence. And then we're going to speak to an organisation, hopefully, who basically will give us some solutions of how to prevent getting yourself in the situations. So,
Just send us any snaps, Insta DMs,
all of that.
Whatever. We'll be checking them. You see me? So lock in.
All right, calm. So... obviously, Mally again came through with the question. Because you've been killing it with the questions recently, I can't lie.
Thank you, dog.
So obviously,
thank you, man.
Mally came through with the question. He was like, I feel like we need to talk about domestic violence. And obviously, he was saying it was overlooked. And when you mentioned it,
go on.
Obviously, let's talk about the train conversation. So when you mentioned it to me, obviously, I was like, it's not really a thing. For me, like, I don't know anybody who's experienced it that's our age. Do you get what I'm saying? Obviously, like, probably like the older lot have experienced it, but like my age, not really. Do you get what I'm saying? So obviously, when Mally made me realise that, no, it's a thing, like...
It's happening.
It's
people our age,
yeah?
people we know, with me, I've just come across ladies that have been victims of it. And from, obviously, past encounters. And... just when they're saying it, it's like it just rolls off their tongue. And sometimes, this is what I'm saying, I didn't know whether it's either they feel that comfortable to tell me that quick, or it's just something that they're just accepting and they're not really deep in how severe it is. Because it will just come up in standard conversation. My baby dad punched me up, or my boyfriend used to do this, or boom, 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 and they're telling me, and I'm thinking, Ross. Like, raw ain't a joke, and it was a consistent, you get what I'm trying to say, where obviously when I was saying to you, it was a lot of females. A lot of females where it was happening, and it's just rolling off their tongue, and I'm thinking, that's not nice to be hearing, bruv. And I've got not that I know of, that's been suffering with it, or you get what I'm trying to say, but it's just them, apart from like the girls that I've encountered, obviously, I mean, I didn't know that, so they've just coming to me on a random when I'm with them, or getting to know them, they're saying, they're going through this and they're going through that. And then they're just living every day, cash. Like, it's just normal. So it's a bit nuts, though. It is nuts. And I don't think no one takes it serious.
Defo not. Like, not even me. Because when you said it to me, remember how I was going on? I was like, nah, like, it's not a thing. And you was even saying to me, I might know people who are going through it and I don't even know. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Because obviously, like, it's something that obviously they're hiding or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, we'll get into it fully.
But yeah, I'm going to read out some of the stuff that I had. How many did you get? That one that you just showed me? Read out yours first then, because I've got quite a few.
All right then, Bab. Cool Beano.
So the question was, is domestic violence overlooked? So obviously, if you haven't sent us any messages about it, then you can still do it now.
And someone said, we'll leave them anonymous. I definitely think domestic abuse is overlooked 100%, especially when the man is a victim, and especially when it is sexual abuse in a relationship. As a society, we are brought up thinking men are the backbone, men are the strength. And when we talk about domestic abuse, we automatically assume that it is a woman. Some men may feel that admitting it may make them less of a man, but women can be just as manipulating and controlling. Sexual abuse in a relationship is definitely a taboo subject. It still comes under domestic abuse, but because it's a relationship, it's almost seen as okay because you are pleasuring your partner, which is normal. But someone forcing themselves on you without consent is still rape in or out of a relationship. So what do you reckon? I think that the first paragraph more hits out to me more about the men. Like, even they can be victims when you hear domestic abuse. Even when obviously I was just saying it from a women point of view anyway, but even when I think of domestic abuse, it's boom. Who's licking up their woman? Or, you get what I'm trying to say, it's a woman that's on the receiving end. And there is cases, obviously, and it probably would be harder for you to come out as a man and be saying you're a victim of domestic.
100%.
So I can imagine, and that's going on as well. That's going on as well. That's a whole new problem in itself. Because then it's probably better for you not to. Because the way you get slated, or they're not really going to get accepted. I can't, and it's bad. But me trying to take, who's the same Terry Crews, the big actor. He's been a victim of domestic violence. And I'll be honest here, and even to this day, and it's bad, but I can't take it serious, Divine, as much as I want to. I can't picture a big black male that's been as far as I've known him in his career, in a movie, he's been this big, bold character. Even the roles that he's playing, obviously, they're going to make him show off his muscles and stuff anyway. I can't imagine him being a victim of domestic.
Was it physical though that he was getting, or was it like?
I think it was a bit of both. I don't want to say too much on it, but I'm sure he was receiving some sort of physical abuse as well, because he's had not press conferences, but he spoke out on it, on the same thing, being a victim and saying, "Yo, you're not in this alone," and blah blah blah. To be fair, I should have looked into it a bit more, but all I know, me just from looking and what I know, it's as bad as it sounds. I can't take him serious.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
I can't take him serious.
But then if you think about it, more time his girl's not just punching him up. He's more time dashing chairs after him, dashing tables after him or stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you think about it, like, if you're a man who stands for not hitting a girl, not putting your hand on a girl, you're going to take those licks. Do you get what I'm saying?
But there's difference from...
And you might not see it as abuse when it's happening, because realistically, like I'm saying, and this is why I feel like it is overlooked, because we just see, let's say if I was in a relationship with somebody and I just hit them or I just push them over or whatever, no one's going to take that as a domestic violence. Do you get what I'm saying? No one's going to take that seriously. Not even me in the relationship is going to think that I'm even abusing the person. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's say them two are going through back and forth issues in their relationship, and whenever they get into an argument or whatever the case may be, she's always ready to put her hand on him, but he's never going to retaliate because he knows what kind of man he is. That's still abuse. And probably he didn't realise at the time it was abuse until he got out of it and he was like, "Wow, when I really think about it, he was actually constantly putting your hand on me."
No, I think it did. I don't know. I don't understand, like, even restraining or you restrict, like the way how it was, he just sounded like an innocent child that's been through a traumatic experience. It is a traumatic experience. We're not taking nothing away from it, but it's just him explaining the traumatic experience and then the figure of him being that person and what that comes with. I couldn't put them together to this day. I can't do it. I've tried,
so
but
mad. And I hear that still, but it's raw mad though, because I feel like because you had that picture in your head, that's why.
And I hear how like the law is in favor of women with the things like, you got what I'm trying to say. Even if he was to come up in court and say whatever, unless he's got hard evidence and stuff, that he's not there. Whoever it was would probably get away with that charge. Probably get away with that charge. So then he's in a whole new mindset himself, thinking, me as a big actor or who I am, trying to fight this, it won't even work that way. That's why I reckon he's so big. You know, soon as I found out, I was thinking, bruv, he's in the gym that much, as a confidence boost. A lot of people do that. People do that every day anyway. There's be a man that go gym, then it makes them feel big and braver than they are. You got what I'm trying to say? So that's probably a confidence boost that he's always had. He don't feel, because when you say, it's like people with, when people are obese or anorexic or whatever, they're either really skinny or really, and they think they're fat. But it's just in their head. So he, in his head, he probably don't even think he's as big and as strong as he looks. You got what I'm trying to say? Because obviously it's the mind, innit? Your mind, it's a powerful thing. So if you don't think that, and then like what the person said when she was saying, women can be manipulating and controlling. If that's in your head constantly as well, that you're lying down with, you're basically a small little boy, and that's what he looked like when he was explaining it. He looks like a small little boy. It's mad.
That's so mad.
It's mad.
Oh, that is so powerful.
And I don't even know how I just linked that to thinking that that's raw what it was. Raw was like a little boy.
That is so crazy.
Trust me, it's nuts. And it's bad because taking it in, as much as I'm explaining it and that and whatever and what's going on and that, when I'm I can't take him serious.
Yeah. The part that I touched on from what she said was the whole sexual stuff. Where, like, obviously when you are in a relationship, and this is why, not to go back to the other podcast, but to go back to the other podcast that we've done. When we're doing that Valentine, doing it to knock it now.
Just go back. Go on.
When we're doing the Valentine's podcast, you know, we were saying like sex is not a gift, basically, and that we were having that debate.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I was saying was basically about the reason why I would consider sex as a gift, and why I would want my man to see it as a gift is because if it's not, it becomes routine, and then you lose the meaning of it, you lose the value of it. So basically, in a situation like this, where now you are basically your man's property, that's pretty much what it becomes. Do you get what I'm saying? So you're just laying down with him. Things between you and him aren't really right. You're laying down with him, and he's just basically
that's what happens, isn't it? Sorry, before you like. And that's mad, you know what he's saying? In relationships, or even when things are going south, or even if you've said directly, you split up. If you're in the same, say kids are involved, you're in the same house and blah, blah, blah. Sex is still you still have sex.
You still have sex. You don't do anything else.
Bare bad energies now. You're not together, but you just sex is still there, and that's mad, you know.
10, one out of the two people aren't on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Majority of the time, either the female's not on it or the male's not on it. But because it's just the to-do, do you get what I'm saying? Then it's just the to-do, and then you start to attach, well, I have to because it's my partner, or I have to because it's my man. Do you have completely separated, yet we still live in the same house? Do you get what I'm saying? So then I get what you're saying, because to be honest with you, that's when the lines can get blurred. Is it just me doing what I need to do for my man, or me doing what I need to do for my girl? Or is it actually abuse? Do you get what I'm saying? So
that is a mad way to look at it, you know. Really, and even if you say, even on the receiving end of that, obviously we're going a bit off topic, but you're like, yo, if my partner was like, she don't want to have sex with me or whatever, I'd be thinking, why? What's going on there? You got what I'm trying to say? I'm even not trying to process that. I'd be thinking, why? What's going on there? And then that's a whole new. Could have an argument about that, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's nuts, bruv.
Let me read out some other stuff that people said. So we've got here. So someone said, yes, it is overlooked, but at the same time, it doesn't help when we have females who have a fight with their partner, or when they don't have their way and they call the police and say their ex or current partner hit them. So to me, it makes those who are actually suffering domestic violence hard to speak out and be heard, because not all cases are 100% looked into. Also, a lot of perils because a lot of perils because they have seen their family members, i.e. moms, get beat by dad. Most of these young men and females seem to think it's normal behaviour, so they don't see the importance of their safety. Most women and girls are just putting up with it, and it's so crazy. Don't get me wrong, if a female and male are arguing and a female put their hands on that male and the males retaliate, then if you're big enough to take the hit, you should be big enough to take it back. But when men or women are...
I don't think that's domestic abuse.
Yeah,
but,
that's what I'm saying. Just saying, don't get me wrong. If that was to happen, then...
I believe it,
However, men or women can't just go around hitting people because they don't get their way, or they are just angry, or to create intimidation or fear. It's just wrong. I just don't think it's out there enough and for people to understand their worth. And then she also added... oh, wait, no, this is a solution, so we'll read that out after. But yeah, that's what she said. What do you think about that?
What was the first bit? Basically, people not taking, just keep phoning and basically
false cases,
exaggerating or not exaggerating, just using false stuff.
Yeah, false cases. So people saying like, "Oh, my man done this," because there's loads of people. It's like even like when people scream rape and they're lying. Do you get what I'm saying? But they've said what they said to get back at somebody, and then when somebody is actually honestly going through that,
you know what it is though. You see, with it, where I'd say it's a bit different with the rape and like violence. The rape thing. Yeah, it's kind of it's bruv. If you say it's no, it's no, innit? Forget it, bruv. You got what I'm trying to say. If you continue to take her, whether she's saying no, because females do that as well, where they're saying no, but they're not being genuine. That can happen as well. But if that's whether for you to judge as a man, if you want to go forward with that, you got what I'm trying to say. But if she says no, there's the line, innit? Yeah. It's done. If you go over that, then be able to be coming with the domestic thing now. And like if you're like, okay, then safe. If I've grabbed you up, that might scare you. Like you might be really scared. If I've just not grabbed you up, like I've just put you on the wall or something or whatever, you might be really frightened of that. Whereas someone might just think that's not warranted enough to be phoning. You get what I'm trying to say? Whereas they're waiting for someone to hit them or whatever. So this is why it's a bit more like there's a bit more into it though.
This is how you know it is normalised, because think about it, and if that's why I can't wait to phone the call that we're going to call. She will speak about this. If you look at it from a cultural perspective, realistically, black people were kind of rough anyway. Do you get what I'm saying? Like even growing up and stuff
even
like that.
you're getting beat.
Yeah,
it's by people, women as well. Yeah. It's the women of your family. Some of them will fling down some licks on your ass. That's what I'm saying.
So when you're growing up and stuff like that, it's kind of normal to be roughed up or even play fighting. Like if you got older brothers and stuff like that, and they're roughed up, it's nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? So because we're already like that, when we're now with somebody and they're just roughing us up, we don't see it as nothing. It's like it's nothing to us. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas like if you're from a place where that's not normal, and that's like, whoa, you touched me like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even shouting, let's look at white people and black people. If I have a conversation like this, if a white person was sitting right now, being aggressive, automatically they'll be like, why is she shouting? Why is she so loud? Is she angry? Is she mad? Is she annoyed? What's going on? Is she affected by this? But really and truly, you understand what I'm saying, because this isn't how we speak. This is normal. Do you know what I'm saying? So the same way, like if you were brought up in that kind of family where it's not the norm for you to be roughing each other up or for you to, do you know what I'm saying? And you can't quite delicate
me
with
personally,
each other, then I
think the hands thing, like, I don't know, I can't, and this is why I was saying separate, because myself have been in situations where gal and that have beaten off their mouth and moving, not with like as in partners, I just mean
in general
with not even my friend, just people that you from a male to a female. Yeah, I've had them where they're beating off my mouth and all them things there, or trying to throw licks on a gal, as a gal to a man, and I'm not with all of that. You got what I'm trying to say? At the time as well. Now I'm a bit more, come on, man. It's nothing to hold up a girl and just make her run her mouth a little. Yeah. It's minor in comparison to what you'd think to do. But the domestic violence thing, I don't understand. Even when I'm saying, putting your missus up on the wall or something, to me that's a big thing. I can't see myself being in confrontation or conflict with my partner, and I'm putting her up on the wall. Now, if that was with my bedrooms and that, me and them are pushing up each other, that's minor. You got what I'm trying to say? That's something minor, but I don't understand why even that as alone, that's a big thing to me. Putting my partner up on the wall. Yeah. I don't understand where the levels of anger comes into it to make them think they're doing that, or I don't understand it. I don't understand it, to be fair.
Someone just wrote in, they said that the background that they come from in terms of their family, it was very, so this is obviously someone who's obviously experienced it. So they said that it was very hard for them to come out and say, this is what's happening to me. I felt weak, hopeless and embarrassed, and she's a female. She felt like she was letting down her family, children, her family and her children. She said, at first, I didn't even know I was going through domestic violence. And that's what I was saying about the sex thing. Or not even that, with the Terry Crews thing. Like, we don't know the ins and outs. Obviously, he spoke about what he's open to speak about. But realistically, sometimes you don't actually realise that this person's actually trying to get you down a pathway where they can control you in that way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So she said she didn't know she was going through it. It's only talking about what was going on, what she was going through, where she came out of her bubble and realised what was happening to me was wrong.
You see...
Should I finish it? Then she said, the abuse I went through was financial, physical, mental, emotional. I felt like I couldn't survive without him. Now I'm more independent, love myself more, understand myself, still learning things about myself, but it's not an easy journey.
You see, is it finished?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, just quickly before I carry on saying when she's saying that, that's just making me think, you remember how I'm saying these girls that I've had past encounters with and they'll tell me about their previous... domestic, it is domestic violence stuff and that. They're not realising, that's why it rolls off their tongue so easy. So when I'm saying, that's why it rolls off their tongue so easy, because like how she's saying she didn't realise it. They've not realised it, moved on, whatever's happened, whether the geezer's found a new gal, whether they've left or blah, blah, blah. They've been victims of it. They've carried on, especially like, some of them are baby mums and stuff. So some of them have got kids and that. So you've automatically got something that's going to pass the time. You've got something else to feed your focus in. So they're not putting that energy into, that's trauma or something that I really need to hear. Look, it's in the back now, but it's something that I need to get over. So that's why it just rolls off their tongue. They just cope with it and carry on. And they don't address the actual, it's like they don't know or they don't realise, or because obviously time's gone forward now and sometimes it's been severe, sometimes it probably hasn't. So they haven't put no energy into it. It's just a norm to them.
Yeah.
It's mad.
There's one more that I want to read out because it was so lit. Like, she was just talking facts. She sent a voice note in, but I'm not going to play the voice note because it was kind of long.
Yeah.
But let me actually just read out what she said as well as the voice note. So she said... Okay, so the question being, is domestic violence overlooked? So she said, yes, most people do not understand how domestic violence actually starts. It's more emotional than physical. If you really understand the power of the mind, you will know the mind can destroy you just as much as it can uplift and benefit you.
100%.
Domestic violence can also include financial control, which makes it hard to leave, especially those who wish to take children with them. And then she also said...
That's what I'm saying, it's a whole new ball game.
She also said, it's always important. It's okay. She goes. You have to basically really know yourself to be able to stick to it, in terms of to be able to say to yourself, this is not okay. This is not normal. I need to get out of the situation. And she goes, and not get lost in the body. She goes, it's always important to have time apart too. I think it allows you to be yourself and not get so absorbed in who your partner wants you to be. Also, I think people forget that the abuser has some serious issues. They almost get lost in the drama of it all. They abuse to escape their own vulnerability. Hurt people. And I thought that was lit because really and truly, that's what I was trying to... When I was speaking to people this week, I was basically... Obviously, it's easy when we're speaking about domestic violence to go to the victim, do you get what I'm saying? Which is obviously still important to speak about.
100%.
But I was trying to make people understand the abuser, the actual attacker, the person who's actually doing it. Like, they're facing problems, do you get what I'm saying?
100%. That's not a normal behaviour.
Do you get what I'm saying? So for them to do that, that means something... more deeper has to be going on with them. Do you get what I'm saying? And when I was speaking to...
or they just don't realise they've never had that. Like, they just don't... when someone just don't know their actions. Like, they can't be responsible for something
that they're not aware of.
That you're not aware of.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
And what I think that everyone keeps touching on really is the journey of domestic violence. Because what I was saying is that for you to be... Obviously, domestic violence pretty much like one-time attack. Whereas when it's abuse, it's obviously a continuous thing. It keeps happening. Do you get what I'm saying? So my thing was like, how do we get from just a one-time attack to it continuously happening? Do you get what I'm saying? Because I was lost with that. I was thinking to myself like, why would you allow it to continue happening? Because at that point, once you've said, okay, it's cool for the first time, and you've carried on with your life, you're now enabling that to happen. Do you get what I'm saying?
But you know what it is?
But, yeah, go on.
Or was he going?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I was thinking initially. But then after speaking to people, they made me realise that, like what she said, it don't just start with, no one's going to start punching you up because they know you're obviously going to bounce. Do you get what I'm saying? They will start with the whole financial, you depending on them, emotional, and even small things. Like I was speaking to somebody today and she was talking about how just small things like, just saying small comments, like, let's say, for example, you're wearing something and they can be like, you really going to wear that?
It's like you're chipping at the tree.
Keep saying
like
little things to make the person question themselves, because to make them not sure of themselves. Because if they're not sure of themselves, then somebody who they're supposed to really love can obviously put that in them. Do you get what I'm saying? To make them think, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be. So I think that obviously looking at that journey and seeing how it goes from not just straight physical abuse, it goes from obviously, emotional, financial. I think financial is one of the biggest ones.
I mean, it's obviously, I know that there's financial, but until we've said it on here now, I'm thinking, bruv, that's a serious thing, that financial thing. Yeah. It's a serious thing.
Yeah, 100%. Because especially as well, when girls portray themselves, and not to even say it's only a girl thing, because obviously we've acknowledged that it's for guys as well. But I'm just thinking that, you know how there's a lot of girls who will portray themselves and come across as a girl who wants a man to pay for everything, wants a man to do everything for them, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of men out there that will see you guys and be like, bingo, because I've got what you want and nothing else. Do you get what I'm saying? You don't care about my personality. You don't care about my rules. You don't care where I come from, any of that. All you care about is that I've got money in the bank. So guess what? I'm going to make sure that I give you everything that you want, materialistically, financially.
That's what reins you in.
Exactly.
That's what reins you in.
And then from that point now, if you turn around, if I want to do what I want to you, I'm going to obviously say, but hold on a minute, I bought you this, I bought you that, I bought you that. I wouldn't do it if I didn't love you. Do you get what I'm saying? Or I wouldn't do, not even that, even things like, let's say isolation from family. Yeah.
I don't want you to see your people. And
so things like that. Wow, your parents didn't help you. You was the one that was coming crying to me, asking me to pay for this, asking me to pay for that. When you was
all are putting poison in there, so you get what I'm trying to say? You're making you look at your own family different and them things like that.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And then what I was thinking earlier, what you were saying is, especially, I've only had this conversation among women, when females are like, if it was me, I'd bounce. Them conversations there where they're just saying, if it was me that was going through it, I'd go. But they're having that conversation, they're probably with their partner or whatever, and then boom, next week they're having an argument, boom, their partner's licked them in their mouth now.
Yeah.
You don't mentally prepare for that, and then you're just thinking, where did that come from? Majority of the time it's, where did that come from? Okay, then you'll get into a state where you're thinking, you know what? Maybe he did just react out of impulse. He's not like that before. He hasn't got that in him before because he ain't seen that side of him. You're trying to vouch for your partner. Yeah. So this is where I was saying, that's why the little things happen, and it probably won't even happen for the next few months. You get what I'm trying to say?
That's what somebody said.
It won't happen for the next few months, and then it's happened again. Then it's abuse.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? Because it's an ongoing thing now. And then all that time, he's built back your connection, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then the second one now, it's a kind of a thing where, bloody hell, it's not just a one-time thing. I'm really a victim of domestic violence. No one don't take this thing that serious. Who do I tell? That's you get what I'm trying to say?
And you know what? I'm just thinking now.
It's not a case of just leaving.
You know people who regularly cheat?
Yeah.
That's actually a form of, when I'm thinking about it now, that's actually a form of emotional abuse, because really and truly, it comes in periods. We were together for 2 years, everything's Chris. I find out you cheated on me. All right, cool. We figure it out. And then we're good for the next 6 months. I find out again. We're good for the next 6 months. I find out again. That is emotional abuse. You get what I'm saying? Because emotionally, you're making me feel like this is normal. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to accept the fact that you're going out and doing your thing while I'm here and just being faithful to you. Do you get what I'm saying? And just like what you're saying, somebody actually said that, and it made so much sense to me when someone said basically like, when you do get into a relationship, like I said before, nobody just jumps straight in saying, I'm going to start busting you up in 2 weeks' time. No one does that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's obviously progression.
I don't even think, before you carry on, I don't even think, the person that's...
Plans too.
Do you know how... Obviously, there is some, but you more see that in movies and shows and that, where you can go into depth and they really do think ahead. But I don't even think... and I think it's easier for a man to express their dominance, because, like I said, with like women like you as well, I know you like a man with dominance. So then it can start off with dominant and being the,
and then getting that line.
You get what I'm trying to say? And then it leads on to boom. I'm saying this, I'm saying that. You're not doing this, and if you don't, you're getting either a thump, you're getting this, you're not coming out the house, boom, I'm taking your bank card, you're not seeing your family and that. And then, because that's still you being the dominant person, you know, but it's on an extreme now. Yeah. And I don't think, like, they've planned, sometimes they ain't even planned that. They just like being the person in control now. You get what I'm trying to say? And they ain't even been realizing all this time, all these months, they've been just doing things to basically, when it does come to the point where you are beating and punching people up and whatever, you've basically built up a big bridge for you to fall back on, and you're nice, you're stable because of course your partner loves you, bruv, and rates you. So one bad thing or the good, but obviously it needs to be in the same conversation. But you can't, how are you going to be like try and put them in the same boat? You're going to obviously think, so when he was like this, was he really being genuine? You're just in a whole different mindset. I can imagine. Yeah,
nah, 100%. I'm going to see if I can make this call. So we've got somebody.
Was he doing the call before the advert break or after?
Before the advert break.
All right.
And then we're going to do solutions after the advert break,
Yeah, that's pattern.
Yeah,
cool.
All right, cool. So I'm going to make this call. Hopefully she answers, because I've messaged you, Ilette, and you won't answer my message. So let's see. And I haven't actually got the aux cord thing, so I'm going to put her on speaker.
Just keep it so,
let's see. Oh, wait, her battery's low. Okay, so we'll make this quick. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're going to have Ilette that's going to give us her input on what she thinks. She's got quite a different perspective. She was speaking it from a cultural basis. So hopefully we can get a lot more insight on just the different scenarios and different cases, because obviously not every case is the same.
No way.
So let's find out. Hold on a minute. How come it's taking so long to put this number in? But yeah, so obviously if you guys are listening, you can still obviously not phone in. I tried it. You can obviously message in and all of that and give your input. Let's see if this works. Hiya, love.
Hello.
I know your battery's low, so we'll keep it short and sweet.
Hello, Ilette. Been a while, love.
Can you hear Mally?
No, I can't.
Hello, love. Hello. Can you hear me? No?
Can you not hear her? Hear him?
Yeah.
You can't? For true?
No, I can hear him now.
Oh, you can? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
so as you know, we're speaking about domestic violence. So far, we've just basically like gone through basically how it leads up to abuse. So we've been speaking about, like, obviously it starts with the emotional and stuff like that, and then obviously they get to the physical part. And we've also been speaking about slightly touched on different cultures, but I know that you had more of an insight on the different cultural aspects of abuse, like what's more accepted in different cultures. So I thought that it would be good for you to give some insight on that. What are your thoughts on it? All of that.
Yeah, of course. Where do I start? So if you kind of look at how people's attitudes are to traditional setups of the home. So if you look at certain cultures, they really value marriage. And if they do that, women become more reliant on the fact that marriage is seen as a pinnacle of achievement in their life. Therefore, they become a lot more reliant on that traditional setup, and a lot more reliant on men. And like you said, the abuse doesn't start off with them beating you down in the first place. It starts off with them essentially taking control of the tiny things like what you wear or how you cook a certain thing, things like that. And then suddenly you can't go out or you can't speak to that certain person. And it won't even necessarily be it won't even be your really, really good friend. It's just someone that you've mentioned in your life who's going through a certain thing that your husband or your boyfriend doesn't really like the sound of. And then you start to feel bad because you're like, oh, I've already given him that information. Maybe I should get hanging around with that person anyway. You get it? You'll try to sort of rationalise it because you're thinking, all right, this person wants the best for me. They love me, and they know best. So you start to rationalise, you start to think, and then that's where the control starts, and then that's where the abuse starts, like you said. But obviously, I don't want to put labels on certain communities because that's quite, that's quite damaging to say that like certain communities, women are more susceptible to abuse or they're more willing to take it. But it's just all around the setup of, do they grow up in a patriarchal environment or a matriarchal environment? If it's traditionally patriarchal, then they look at marriage and having a man there always, whether he's healthy and the relationship is constructive for their lives or is toxic or not. Sorry.
Nah, she's doing the most. I don't know why she's trying to be in the station. She needs to allow it.
Literally.
Yeah.
She's done.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with that in terms of like, you see, like, because we was talking about the different cultures. We was looking at, let's say, the Asian community, the African community, and then we look at the Jamaican community or the Caribbean community. Obviously, as Jamaicans, like, our achievement is not to be married. Do you know what I mean? That's not like, when we look at the path for our life, it's not this, that, and that, and then get married. It's actually just do whatever you want. Live day by day, see what happens.
But
go on.
With that's what I'm saying. That's where it's like different sorts of domestic violence and that comes on, because with Jamaica, it's not all Jamaica obviously, but there's a lot of Jamaican men. Boom, be a woman, just be a girl, be a youth. I'm running things out. Some of them, you'll get some of them that will be paying and providing for all of their youths or most of their youths, but whatever I'm saying, you're my baby mum, is whatever goes. You got what I'm trying to say? So, and if you don't follow them rules or lines or whatever, even I've seen men drag their baby mums out dances. They're not even with that woman. They've got a girl themselves, but they don't like how their baby mum's going on, like it's their possession still or whatever. The only thing that ties you to is your child. So from when you're not with them, you've got, as long as everything goes for your child, you don't really have, you got what I'm trying to say, there's no link there no more. And they're still doing things like dragging your baby mum out a dance and everything's there trying to, it's all nuts.
I think
it's all mad.
I think it's how you get into that situation. So I think it's like with, let's say, obviously not to compare the abuses.
But I don't think they don't think that's normal to them.
Yeah, I know. So what I'm saying is, obviously, like, what I'm saying is, okay, because, you know, with other cultures, they plan to get into a marriage. And they don't plan to get into marriage to leave. Their plan is to be in the marriage and stay in the marriage no matter what happens. Their parents will tell them, stick it through it. I'm sure a lot of people who are from African cultures, Asian cultures, they probably know that their parents have probably been in domestic situations
and that's
themselves.
What's sad about that, you know.
So let's think about those kinds of people who will get into those situations knowing that I have to get married to this person, and if they actually abuse me, I have to actually stay. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas Jamaicans, they don't get into that situation thinking like that. They probably get into that situation thinking, if a man was put their hands on me or do anything, I'm gonna leave. Not to say they are gonna leave, but at least they've got that thought process beforehand. Whereas those people in those cultures, more time, they have no choice.
Nah,
they
don't.
Into that situation, that's it.
I can't do my family dirty. That's what they're thinking. I'm doing my family. They're not even looking at it as.
I was saying to you the other day, Divine, like, that's why certain cultures don't want to over-educate their girls, or is the word even over-educate? They don't want to educate their girls to a certain extent, or socialise them in certain environments like the Western world, because then they get all these ideas, and the ideas come from divorce, the ideas come from being a single parent, the ideas come from seeing their friends do it and women in cultures do it. So then, obviously, all these ideas suddenly socialised to think in a different way. That's why they don't want to put them into those environments, so they don't learn these things. You get it? And then going back to what Malachi just said, it kind of proves that if an abuser is an abuser, he's just an abuser. So it doesn't matter what culture he comes from, it doesn't matter what way he is. If he's going to drag his baby mum out the dance, he's just going to do it, whether they're married or not. Do you know what I'm saying? So it kind of just proves the point that if a man's going to be abusive and toxic towards a woman or be deconstructive towards their life, he's just going to do that. But just like obviously we need to think about, like, especially tradition as well. You mentioned pressure. Like, obviously, if a girl has grown up within her culture, regardless of what culture it is, and she's always got women around her and men around her telling her, but no man could ever put his hands on you. Do you know what I do to it? So and so could ever put his hands on you. She knows whether she's going to leave at that point when hands have been put on her or not. She's always got that back in. But if she's never heard that, it's even more, it's added pressure without even saying anything. Because no one's ever said that's wrong. No one's it's a taboo subject, no one's ever spoken about it. It's even more pressure, because then you're thinking, okay, so I know that person was in that situation, but it was never spoken about again. I know my brother licked down his wife the other day, but I've never even seen the bruises. She's probably covered them up with makeup. All these things, it's unspoken things, it's all taboo, but it just adds more pressure to the person who's in the situation. Do you know what I mean? So if they've never heard that they're going to get that back in, or that it's wrong, or so-and-so went through it and then her man got chopped up. You know what I mean?
And I think that, you know, the point that you mentioned as well, because if we slightly move on to solutions, when we was talking about basically how a lot of people who've experienced domestic violence or abuse, they'll say, you always say that wouldn't be you until you're in it. And remember your take on that statement, like, which I agree with that, with what you think about that statement.
So now 100, like, if you think about it, people who end up in those situations that we look at and say that could never be me, they took steps to get to that position. If you're not willing to take steps to get there, that's never going to be you. So if you're going to say, my man's never going to tell me what I'm allowed to wear, my man's never going to tell me who I'm allowed to be friends with, and obviously those are the telltale signs of the very traditional classic signs. But say it's more in depth that your man spoke to his mum in a certain way and he was like, rah, and you ignored it the first couple of times, and then he physically attacked his sister, and that's completely normal in that family. If you're willing to walk away, then that person, you're never going to be the victim in that situation.
No.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So when people say, that's never going to be me, they're not saying that could never happen to me. They're saying it's not going to happen to me because I won't allow it in my life to get it.
Some people are saying that.
That's where I come from as a person, where that could never be me because I'm not going to it's never going to be me. Do you know what I mean?
But a lot of people... A lot of people with that never gonna. There is people like, obviously, like what you're saying, 100%. But then there's a lot, like, it's easy with just any situation. It's easy to talk about a situation that you haven't been in. You got what I'm trying to say? So a lot of people that are saying them things are saying it's never gonna be me and blah blah blah. They're probably, it's in the same. They're in a relationship with someone that they've probably never loved like that before, or whatever. You got what I'm trying to say? So then when they're receiving that abuse or violence now, it's the thinking, bruv, I didn't think I'd be in this situation with this person. It's not just a get up and leave thing.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think my take on it, which I think Alec can probably agree as well, is the fact that if you never tell yourself to begin with, is she still there?
Sounds like she's gone.
Might be the train, but yeah, if you never tell yourself in the beginning what to expect, like if you never set standards, let's say, and say,
hello?
Yeah,
She back.
So I'm basically saying that if you don't set standards for yourself before getting into a relationship to say, this is not what you're going to accept, blah, 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 blah. When you're in that situation, it's going to be easy for you to allow it to happen. I'm not saying that you can have those standards and that can still happen to you, you can accept it. Or at least if you set those standards, then you've at least got more reason to not do it.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Rather than not speaking about it
Definitely.
Go on. Oh,
You can't, yeah. But what I was about to...
Wait, sorry, London Midlands not cutting it.
Yeah, we can't, yeah.
Nah, the Raw not supporting it. Go on.
You put me the extremities of being in that situation for you to know that you never want it for yourself. You can be halfway there. You can see your friend who's 100% in it for you to know that's not my portion.
No,
so it's
100%.
not about... You have to be in it to know. You can be halfway there or a quarter of the way there, and you can know. Listen, I know I've got a feeling of where this is going. I might love this person, but I love myself. I love my space more than I love.
Now I know that you know. I know that you're like aware of it and whatever, but I just feel like there's a lot of people. You got what I'm trying to say. You two, it's good that you like that, but there is a lot of people, especially when they get in relationships and that, you automatically compromise certain things anyway.
Yeah, 100%,
so that's that. From an emotional view, it's just coming from, all right then. Maybe you got what I'm trying to, maybe it was just a little hit, or he just threw me on the wall and I banged my head. You got what I'm trying to say, but all the other things, they're weighing up all the other good things that he's doing for me, or you got what I'm trying to say, like. There's a lot of, whereas you two can come with that. I think that there's a lot of people that can't, that actually can't.
This is what we're saying. What we're saying is that we know that there's a lot of people who can't come off that angle to say, like, you know, these are my
even when they are
standards,
clocking the red flags.
Yeah, these are my standards. I'm going to stick to my standards. There's obviously a lot of people that don't obviously take those into consideration and take them seriously. But that's the point of the conversation, that you have to. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
Like,
it shouldn't be debate.
Don't drop your standards and don't even don't be like, oh, but this, oh, but that. From you feel uncomfortable, you know this is not right. Allow it. Allow it, because it can only get worse. If right now you feel uncomfortable, how much worse
then you
do
have to go, and then you have to, and then it's.
And don't you think, Malachi, there's enough examples out there from like people that we know, things that have been on TV, things that we've seen on Twitter, threads, all that. There's enough examples out there for us to know it's okay. Like. It's okay. You don't have to be in this situation.
Yeah. A lot now.
I feel like
that is. Go on, carry on. I'll say my piece.
I feel like
after.
there's enough examples out there. I don't think it's enough to say. And obviously, me and Divine spoke about the other day, like the victim blaming. That's another huge part of domestic violence and domestic violence situations that we're too even scared to tap into because we all know that we do it.
What was that? Sorry, victim
blaming.
What do you mean?
Blaming the victim.
Oh yeah, and say why did you stay and stuff.
Obviously, mine and Divine's stance on it is, there's enough examples out there for people to know what the signs are, and even if they're not super duper obvious, maybe our friends are picking up on something that we're not. It's okay to listen to your friends in that situation. At the same time, when somebody's 100% in the situation and they're being beat down by their boyfriend, I still kind of look at them like, rah, so like you never saw no signs, or you never wanted to leave before then, or the first time that he hit you, and essentially that is victim blaming. And why do we do that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
and then you have to think of
essentially.
Go on.
I see the victim as a weak person, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Not all weak people are victims.
Nah, and you have to think.
Synonymous with weak.
And when people have got like kids or financial hold and stuff like that, and not everyone's got a family, like you got, I'm trying to say, you got your older sisters or something divine where you probably can talk to, or would probably defend you, Ross, or you got, I'm trying to say, some people haven't got no one else but their kid and that person, and safety wise and police and all them things, you got, I'm trying to say, like you have to come with like hard stuff for them to be slamming down on you, because realistically your boyfriend or your partner, whoever's licking you or whatever, if there's no proof, he's only getting done for 36 hours. He's only getting locked up for 36 hours max. You get what I'm trying to say? No one ain't got money and or things and that to just be getting off and breezing away. So if you get what I'm trying to say, you can come, it's catch a cab, can catch a cab, be knocking at your door and licking off your ass again. Police, you're going to be waiting, police is a phone call away, we ain't got no security or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say? So there's them things there.
And then someone even said today as well, they were saying that basically it's a lot more easier to stay than to leave. Like,
it is.
When you think about the hassle you got to go through, like, obviously the person's abusing you, like we said, if they've captured your mind to start with, it's long. Like, to even get out of that, you're in this routine and you're comfortable. You don't mind taking the liquor, you don't mind taking the abuse, because this is what you're used to now.
And this is what you think it's a norm.
To leave, to start your whole new life all over again, to now find your whole mental state again, find your feet again.
What was I just saying to you? What was I just saying to you about even with the kid thing, with like, when like baby mums have got a child now, they've probably gone through it, but they've got a kid that feeds their focus, so that's their main priority. So even like boom, they could get whatever, reporting it, you have to take the kid out of school, the kid knows it, all them things there, it's bare hassle for a normal person to be dealing with, especially some, like, this is what I'm saying, how much times is there single mums out there that forget the family, I'll do everything by myself, and they do everything by themselves. You got what I'm trying to say? But they haven't got no one else to come out to or whatever there should be that's close to them, because they're not going to be telling their work bedrooms or whatever. They're not going to be in the hairdresser telling them or whatever. So they haven't got no one directly, and then it's their kid that they're growing or whatever. They're taking him out of school. That's long. It's a big inconvenience. My youth likes school. His friends are there. He's comfortable there. All of them things there that are coming into it, that's keeping them there.
But I think from this virus being rife and it obviously like imploding in our faces, we've learned that obviously it doesn't take any prisoners. It's not looking for who's rich and who's poor or who's healthy and who's not. The point is your safety above everything. So if you're not thinking about your safety while your child's in the house and your man's beating you down, then that's problem number one. So whether you want to take them out of school or you have to move house or you have to get an injunction order, you're not worried about any of that. If you're not worried about your safety first.
You know what it is, just quickly, you have to think as well, like obviously what we're saying, when they're not beating you up or whatever, you have to weigh up the threat level. So sometimes it's not starting with where they're getting bust up head. You got what I'm trying to say? They can still put a makeup on and blends it. They can still take a lick. Like this is what I'm saying. From a man to a man with my bedrooms or my little brother, me punching up my little brother, he'll tell you it's a minor thing, really. You got what I'm trying to say? Whatever. But so you can have a little one, boom, you can still do everything the next day. You're probably not even limping or something. You probably got a little bruise or whatever, even though them things are going on. Yeah, but then, so you weigh up the threat level and be thinking, all right, I've took a lick in my head, or I took over. You got what I'm trying to say? I can still deal with this. I can still carry on and do the things that I can before and not make things worse. That's what the mindset is, kind of thing. Whereas obviously them big ones, when you're getting dashed down the stairs, or you get what I'm trying to say, that's when you're thinking.
These examples of how people are getting beat up are so bad.
Nah, I know, but it's weighing up the threat level. Then that's when you're thinking, yo, my youth, I need to get gone. Then that's when them things will come. But chances are, if a little, not a little, but a punch in your face, it's little in comparison to the other things. You're not. It's not enough. I think that people are going to be doing. You should, but I don't think that's what people are acting on then. or getting flung up on the wall and then hitting your head. Like you just think, freaking out. You just pushed me a bit hard. Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say? They don't weigh up the threat level like that. Whereas you should be seeing it from a long run kind of thing. Yeah. Get out of there, bro.
I was in a church service yesterday, and obviously I'm not a Christian, so obviously going to you're listening for different things. And one thing I took from what the bishop was saying, he was like, you have to teach the children who they are, so they don't go out there looking for who they are in different people. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. So obviously, if you're not loved at home, or you're not supported at home, you're gonna go and find that love and support
somewhere else.
Essentially, the wrong people. We all go through dating, and we all date essentially the wrong people a lot of the time.
100%.
Find that one person who we consider who's right. So imagine if you're getting caught up in all these people who you're trying to find love, you're trying to find support, you're trying to make yourself feel good through them, and obviously because you've never had that from home, you're fully throwing that all into them. That's how I think.
And you think that's right as well?
Situations, because they're putting a lot of reliance on that person. So essentially, if they're taking a lift once in a while, they don't even mind, because there were 30% of the time they made you feel good, and over 60% of the time, like
they think it's part of that.
Financial support. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's part of that.
Right, wow. I know your battery's dying and we need to go on a break. So, thanks so much for obviously getting involved.
It's been fun.
I let you done proper stuff. Word up, man.
Obviously, we're having our live debate in 2 weeks, so if you can come through.
You see me?
I'll try.
But yeah, all right. Thanks, love you too. See
Take
ya.
care, yeah?
Bye. All right, so
and then
I'm gonna try. Go on. What you got to say now, Mally?
Nah, I'm introducing the advert. So
what? Oh, go on.
You know about the break.
Go on.
We never said before R.I.P. Pop Smoke. Oh. Yeah. So that's what's been going on. You get what I'm trying to say? We was playing the Pop Smoke earlier. Yeah. So every break we have at the end of the show, we're running the Pop Smoke. That's what's going on. What do you mean? You ain't got
I don't know Pop Smoke.
So just run the rhythm there, because all of them are hard. So what's there? Just don't play Dior.
To have your... No, I'm not going to play that one. Scenario. Yo, I'm taking your job.
You don't even know.
Back, you know what?
Listen,
side.
make the listeners know. Obviously, TK is not here, and we miss her still because it's going off. But Divine's taking up the role, and she's doing her thing. Yeah, and this is what we respect TK still, because she's rather been patterning us for 9 episodes. She's been doing us. So Divine's had to take up the little role now, and she's doing her thing as well.
The big boy role, you get me,
Mrs. Polaroid. Let's run him. Pop Smoke, PTSD, we're back in now, yeah?
So, basically, I just feel like this topic's so big, that we never ever can speak about it enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
it's nuts, man.
We're going to go into solutions. So, we're going to go into how to prevent yourself to get in this situation as a victim, but also as an abuser. So, how to avoid getting yourself into the situation where you become an abuser. In about 5 minutes, I'll call my sister.
Yeah.
Because she's got some bits to say. But I will read out some solutions that some people wrote into me. So actually, I'll read out so there's an organisation called BTSADV. Let me see what it stands for, because I can't remember. Break the Silence Against Domestic Violence. So they're organisation... And basically, that's essentially what they do, break the silence, so that people have a voice to speak on it openly. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I asked a statement from them, and they said, in terms of solutions, so the person goes, I'm a firm believer in education as the biggest and greatest avenue to break the cycle of violence. Education allows us to become more empowered and aware of the warning signs, as well as tips on how to live and maintain healthy and whole relationships. Our children learn about sex in 6th grade, which is... I guess was primary school, innit?
Yeah.
And most will never learn about healthy relationships at any level during their academic career. We definitely see a gap in this issue. In order to prevent abuse from happening in the future, we need to create new and innovative ways to encourage silence breakers and cultivate a space for healing to begin. So that was, I believe her name's Kristen. She's like the CEO of this organisation. And that's raw sick, what she said about what you to get taught in school. Because there's a lot of things that they miss out in school. Like, obviously, that's just whatever. Right? Yeah. But there's a lot of things they miss out in school. But that's actually one thing, when you think about it, should be easily taught. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you do learn about sex and stuff like that. So why don't you just go over a bit and talk about, okay, so this is what sex is, but guess what? If it does that, that's not healthy. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's not.
So,
and you should, because when when you're in primary school, like the boy girl thing. Like, it's mad. Like how, like even little things like girls in primary school, bruv. How I was, and most men that I know around me, it wasn't a galley thing. Like, you don't take girls serious, or you get what I'm trying to say. It's just boys stuck in your thing. You don't nothing about a girl, no interest in a girl like that. You'll have your little stuff, but you don't have no insight or information or even an interest with the girl and that. So them things there, and taking them serious on how you should be doing certain things when you come to them situations, they should be planting the seed from then, from primary school and that. So then when you year 11, your secondary schools and that, when you are interested in the gal thing now, and the gal things come, these little things that they're planting from before, they'll blossom, bruv, and come out. It's mad.
I also think just unlike a scale in terms of, you see how, for example, like suicide is heavily promoted, it's heavily spoken about.
That needs to be up there.
I feel like it needs to be up there, because really and truly, this is a lead to that. Do you get what I'm saying?
What's it called? Factor of it. It's like a
trigger as to why. Not even a trigger, but that's almost like the journey. If you look at, if people are completing suicide, some of them come from those places where they have been domestically abused. So I feel like it needs to be up there, definitely. Like, people need to be speaking about it all over. Same with how you got organisations that sponsor suicide cases, and like all these big brands that are always saying, I'm an advocate for suicide, You also need to be an advocate for domestic abuse, because it's not a joke. And you'll have these small charities and organisations that will start up things like this charity that I spoke about, who will start up things, which is great. But again, what level is it on for us to take it seriously?
And something out there that's there to make it, like, say with rape now, it's like what we were saying earlier. Yo, if she does not consent, if she says no, that means no. You need something like that, bro. The second you put you're in a manipulating, or you say this or you do this, that's domestic violence and abuse, bruv. You get what I'm trying to say? It's plain and standard. It needs to be put out there so everyone knows where they're coming from, and you're either on this side or that side, and done. Even
like, what's it called? Even, actually, someone said to me today that, I'm going to call it now. Someone said to me today that basically, if you show signs of controllingness or like anger and stuff like that, if you got like a quick sort of like quick temper and stuff like that. I want to
hear this, but go on.
If you've got a quick temper or stuff like that, basically, and someone reports it or something like that, that can actually go against you. Like, that's now, you can get charged basically for that. Someone said to me that.
You're just wiling out?
Yeah, like if you if you basically have like a quick temper, or you have like anger issues or stuff like that, basically, and if you act upon that, then you basically can get charged for that. That can go against you. You won't get charged to say that, let's say, for example, like, it could just be an argument, or it could just be, you just roughing up somebody. You don't have to be as deep as going down that level, but because they say this can be something that can start off as this and lead into what we're calling domestic violence, that can apparently go against you. Apparently it's
now, this is coming from, obviously, you know me, so situations, that sometimes I'll react a bit fiery.
But you see somebody...
But I hear where you come from and why you'd think it, but you see, because I'm a person where sometimes, boom, I can flick like that. Like, there's... With me anyway, I don't just see, you got what I'm trying to say. I'll go nuts with a situation and whatever, but it's not just any situation or in 10 years I commit. No.
Yeah, 100%. However, if you were to be reported, they can put that against you.
1,000%. I hear that.
They can see that if you've got that, you can say you can control your anger and stuff like that, and you control where you place your anger. But realistically, when you're in that situation, mate, do you get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how you're doing. So maybe you might be in a situation like that, and you might lose control.
But you know how to...
Yeah, basically. So I'm going to call my sister and we're going to speak about solutions. Hopefully she's listening, because she's been messaging me talking about Idris Elba's got corona. Are you taking the mic?
Sorry, love.
She's messaging me talking about Idris has got corona, but now I ain't heard her say nothing,
about the show.
So I know that she's not listening.
She answers, man. She gives good feedback all the time.
I can hear myself in the back. How come you're not messaging us? You're trying to scare us?
Yeah.
Don't give me no joke. Yeah, so...
I don't know what about with that.
What? Idris? Yeah, that's... No, about that. But yeah, so we're looking at solutions. Obviously, we wanted to call you earlier, but... Bro, I don't even know where
15 minutes,
gone, The time's literally gone.
This is what I'm saying.
When I said, you said you're going to phone me. And then I looked at the time, it was 9 minutes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand where the time's gone.
And I'm looking forward to this phone call as well, you know. So,
but obviously, cause obviously you
just bring the gems, man. You should just be a regular phone. You see, when it comes, we should have like 3 slot people for phone, and one of them should definitely be. I don't think we should have any other. Like, we should have just switch up everyone else, but just keep her consistent.
But
let's get into it. We've got 15 minutes, so let's just a quick thing.
Yeah. So let's go through solutions. Because remember, it cuts off automatically now.
Yes.
It's 9:30. So yeah, solutions. Obviously, if you briefly speak about how you got into a situation where that happened, and then speak about basically how you got yourself out of it, or how you didn't allow it to become abuse over time, and then we can move from
I've
that.
been in the situation twice. Once very early, once a few years ago. But I'll speak about the one a few years ago. So that started off by, and by the way, I talk to the person now still as normal, but that's because they know their place now. But the person I realised would do little things like, if you have like, not even a serious argument, but you know, you have a little bickering match with your partner or whatever. And it's kind of, you mean what you're saying, but it's kind of played off kind of nice. Yeah. But he used to do a little backhander on my cheek.
Yeah.
Well, like it's playful. I didn't say anything the first time. Yeah. I didn't say anything the first time, and I was like, what are you trying? Like, whatever. Anyway, it happened again. I'm like, wait there. Are you trying to test my strength? Are you practicing to beat me or something? What is it you trying to do? Because bearing in mind, I've been through this before, but even when I went through it before, in my early years, it was never
like that.
Oh, I'm carrying down and making someone beat me up and I'm staying in the situation. Yeah. It's never been that. So I think that's the upper hand that I have that some females probably don't have.
Hold on. Sorry, but you know when you say in the backhand, like how...
You know, like when you
as in it's more. Is this at the point where it's a joke yet?
Yeah, it's joking.
Oh, so it's not. You're not seeing it as nothing.
It's a task. It's what I'm trying to say. The difference between, again, it's a fine line between you and your partner ramping together. Yeah. And then somebody actually.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel certain things anyway. So I can read people really, really well. So I don't know if it was that was the reason why I knew what he was doing. But there's a difference between ramping with your partner and somebody pretending to mess about with you
100%.
to test your strength or to test how far they can go.
Yeah, that's what
and as I said, the first time I didn't say anything, I just laughed it off and said, don't try it and whatever, and left it there. But then the second time, I was like, hold on a minute, you getting comfortable? Like, you practicing to beat me or what? You getting comfortable?
You're seeing something.
No. Third time it happened again. It happened about 6 or 7 times.
What, just messing about little things? Yeah. But you just...
in the face. But the thing is, the tap, wasn't a tap to say, because it's always happening when we've had bickering matches.
Oh, so that's what I was about to say.
I say bicker and not argue, because it weren't no full-blown shouting.
Yeah.
It was just a bicker, you understand?
Yeah. So,
with that now, he was using that to be like, oh yeah, obviously I'm going to just clap her in her face. I'm going to see how she's going to react.
And done.
That's what I believe that he was trying to do.
Yeah.
So when it gets to that level now, if he sees that I don't react, he's going to be like, oh, okay. Because everyone knows me to be this very girl that doesn't have it kind of thing. So obviously he knows me like, because he was my friend way before I was with him. So yeah, I think he's seen that I kind of got soft in the relationship, or I am soft when I'm in a relationship, so he thought he could take the mick. Anyway, cut long story short, months and months after, he's literally attacked me. But when I say attacked me, I mean we were arguing, and I'm not going to lie, I threw lettuce at him. I didn't throw lettuce at him. I was cleaning out the fridge.
I was trying not to laugh, you know.
And I threw lettuce at him.
Yeah.
But you could have threw the lettuce back. I'm not going to say I can tell people how to react, you know. There. But me throwing lettuce at you to then you getting up and punching me in my arm, there's no that's not really a comparison.
I don't think
so. I've thrown off my slipper. I'm trying to explain it quickly. I've thrown off my slipper and I've put it to his face. I don't want to fight. Do you get me? But I've put it to his face and said, listen, don't do that again. Anyway, cut long story short, he sat on the bed and then he's phoned his friend and he was said something disrespectful on the phone to the friend about like, oh yeah, he's just at this gal's yard and he's gonna just, I'm gonna cook the Sunday, like he's making me cook the Sunday and he's gonna eat the dinner, he's gonna F off. So I'm like, so even that in itself, those are domestic violence traits, you know what I'm trying to say? So I'm like, hold on a minute, I'm old-fashioned. If me and my partner's in an argument, I'm not going to be like, oh yeah,
I'm not feeding,
I'm not cooking, I'm not washing your clothes, I'm not going to do that kind of stuff. That's stupid. But
you're taking the mix. So right about now, ain't no dinner being cooked. Anyway, cut a long story short.
Hold on, just before you carry on, do you see that, like, what you said about what he was saying on the phone and stuff, and that was the similar signs of that from before? Nah,
No,
but I'm saying, was the similar signs of like that behaviour, like boom?
No.
So even that, the Sunday dinner thing, saying, yo, that's a mad thing as well. Yeah, all right, yeah, carry on.
But the friend knows me, so it's almost like I realised that the friend was asking to speak to me.
Yeah.
Because I heard him say, no, you don't need to speak to her. So it was kind of like, oh, he wants to speak to me, let me speak to him. Who is he? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I got forward to put my hand to get the phone. I didn't touch him. I didn't touch the phone. I just put, and out of nowhere, the man just took his fist and punched me straight in my face. Cut a long story short, because the man wasn't well, yeah, he had like health difficulties and whatever, I didn't want to fight him. So I took about 15 punches in the face and the head before I said, you know what, I ain't doing this. So basically, I kind of bloodied him up and whatever. And then, because obviously I used a blunt weapon, but yeah, I bloodied him up. And then I've made him come out the yard or whatever. And I left him. And I that was it. But
So then, would you say then, all those little signs that you was having, yeah, before we got to the point of obviously where it got to like the actual violence, would you say then, if you hadn't got into that situation, what would you tell yourself? Like, what would you tell yourself if you was already experienced like the little taps and stuff like that? Would you say to yourself now, thinking about how it planned out, would you say to yourself now, like, leave beforehand if you already know this is happening, or would you continue doing what you did, like just like let it happen because you don't think it's that serious yet?
Well, to be fair, obviously you know the story, so I broke up with him straight instantly. But I got back with him a year and a half later, which that was not expected. The difference, and I wouldn't say I'd advise people to do that because I can handle myself. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
And that's what I was saying. You're different.
He was trying his bits. When I got with him the second time, he could have argued and cussed till the cows come home. He ain't hitting me. And that's because I had to whack him up. Do you understand? And even like after he came to the place where I was living at the time, and not to sound crazy or anything, but like he just knew he couldn't play with me because the blood was still on the walls and stuff like that. And he was looking at me like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm not crazy, but obviously I'm not a dickhead. So don't ever feel to yourself that the same person that you met on the road, do you understand what I'm trying to say? That don't have it from people is the same person I am. I don't class myself as no bad girl, nowhere near. Do you understand? But I'm not going to become a victim like that. I've got too much pride to become a victim like that. And on top of it, I've got a daughter. Do you understand? And I'm not, obviously she weren't there at the time when it all happened and she's never seen that before. But I'm just not built like that. I'm not built like that to just be in the corner and be like, oh, crying. And I feel bad for the females that are like that.
Yeah. So if we, because obviously I'm so upset that we only have like 7 minutes
Bex, bruv.
But like, if we like just quickly go around and like give you like your solution. So what do you think your solution is as to like a way that we can prevent going into that situation as an attacker or an abuser, but also as a victim? Mali, what do you think?
I feel like...
Oh, wait.
I
go on,
feel like the men who because you've got different types. As I said, I've come into the show, so I can't really describe that right now. But you've got different types of abusers, whether they're male or females that are abusing. But I think that it's a psychological thing. They've got to go and get themselves sorted out. Whether even if it is they're actually trying to take the piss out of the girl and think that they can because the girl's their property, that in itself is something wrong in your brain. You need to feel that way. And also, I feel like the females or males that are on the receiving end of the abuse. It's very, very difficult. That's what people have to understand as well. You can say what you want and be like, oh, you're feeling that, and you can and just leave. And as you said, it could be people's livelihood, and this is the reason, one of the reasons why, because I've seen certain things growing up, one of the reasons why a lot of my friends laugh after me because I don't run down man that's got money, because I want to be independent enough for that, me not to get caught in any form of trap in that way.
Abuse,
Do you understand? Yeah. So I think that it's always good to talk and try and find outlets, and then slowly get yourself out of the situation. Beforehand, if you've got to just know the signs, you've got to be very aware.
I was just about to... Because when you said, obviously, it's a bit... Well, I think it's a sign then, because you said it happened 7 times and you said it was happening. When it was happening was in bickering situations. So that's automatically when you're in it, that's showing to me that when you're in a situation of conflict, whether minor or not, you think to use physical because as soon as you know what was mad when the first thing you said when you were saying about the minor slapping, that's why I asked, because I know not so much the face thing because I don't like people in my face, but I know I'll give you a nudge or a little, you get what I'm trying to say, and I'm as a ramping thing, nothing like it's minor. You get what I'm trying to say, so that's why I was thinking bomber. You get what I'm trying to say. When you're saying the slap, I'm thinking
that's what I'm saying, there's a difference between playing. Because you can play fight with your partner, like you can play fight with your brothers and your sisters and your cousins and your whatever. But I just knew
that it wasn't a play. It wasn't a play thing.
The look in his eye.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably different.
Tried it. You were trying it,
and you can sense that still.
You have to know the person that you're with.
Yeah, you can sense that.
What would you say one of your solutions are, or for ways to prevent Mali?
As I said, the solutions are the people who's licking people need to get their stuff fixed.
Yeah.
And the people who's getting the lick need to try their best to weave their way, bob and weave their way out of that situation because it can become very severe.
Mali.
It's mad, you know. It's mad, and it's even harder when I ain't been in a situation. I don't know, I just want to say things like, bro, if you've got someone there, that you can talk to, or you got what I'm trying to say, if give them messages and let them know like what's going on, and just have someone there, just at least one person, or like this organization that we've got. This is why things are that. So you've got some release then where you can go to, and you're not doing it all by yourself, bruv.
And you know what? And let's say the good thing when she said, when you're in a relationship, it's all nice to be all cozy and whatever, but have your life outside of your relationship.
100%.
From the get-go.
Outside of your relationship, because if you don't, the person who's doing the abusing can see that they're your
everything.
End all and be all.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when they lock you in that way, they'll be knowing that ain't nobody gonna have your back. You and then you're gonna think that too. Just think like, how am I gonna live? So you have to have your space away, because then it's like, well, hold on a minute, I can't breathe without you though. So you hit me in a bit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I would say, I think it's the whole education thing. I feel like organizations, companies, businesses, all of that need to take a stance to actually raise more awareness about it and make sure that it's up on the pedestal of suicide so that people are aware of it. I feel like what the other woman said from the organization, we need to be educated in terms of having these kinds of conversations. You get what I'm saying? This shouldn't be just a conversation we're having because we're having a debate because we're on a show. This should be a regular conversation. Do you get what I'm saying?
In curriculum and all them things.
Yeah.
In curriculums and
that's
that.
what I was going to say. Yeah, even parents. That too, Melissa. I was going to say that as parents as well, if you're bringing children to this world, you've got to know that your responsibility goes beyond what Melissa always says. It's not just clothing them, feeding them, It's more than that. So you have to make sure that you too are showing them that they are loved enough for them to know that they don't have to accept that, but also they don't need to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. Oh my gosh, I wish we had more time.
Bex,
we don't.
man. Melissa, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for obviously joining us as always. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Take care, Melissa, yeah?
See ya.
See you, bye.
Oh my God.
I know. Oh my gosh, Bridget.
1 hour and a half.
I know.
We've done it, done.
I know.
You done it. Right, bad boy topic. Yeah. You was regulating the mics with the music. Yeah, put some appreciation. Corona's trying to stop man traveling. Corona's trying to stop man's podcast done. Yeah, all these bad energies been going on in the week, bruv. Yeah? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And it's going off. Hail up TK again one more time. Can't wait to be back. Oh, and boom. Oh, hold on, how long? In 2 weeks, that's our 10th show.
Yeah.
So, we're coming proper. All the listeners, we're respecting you. We're going to do something a little different, but we're coming proper on our 10th show. Is it 30th?
Yeah, the 30th of March.
30th of March.
30th of March, we're doing something sick. So make sure you keep a lookout on my social, your social, Mali's social, Tan Shok's social.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram at The Microwave Podcast.
And do that.
People keep asking me, where do I listen to it? Where do
Annoying,
Brethren, it's on Spotify, The Microwave Podcast, or the Pi Radio Podcast show.
Done. Yeah.
And go on to Pi Radio and it's on there too. So yeah.
Drop the mic.
Thanks for listening. You get me? You get me? Oh, song.
Oh.
Shit. Wait. All right. Wait there. What time is it? Shit. All right. No, still in. All right. 1, 2, 3.